Collision 2023 is a tournament to go down in the history books as one of the greatest and expectation-defying tournaments ever. Held in New Jersey with over 600 players colliding to not only obtain a spot in the final Smash Ultimate Summit, but also to assert themselves as one of if not the best players in the world. I, Kevin Lar, will take you on a trip of one of the most chaotic tournaments ever. This is your Collision 2023 recap. Single Saturday started off with pools, with every set being best of 5. There was bound to be some upsets even in top 64. Siski, who hadn't lost a game since the top 64 qualifiers, had been upset by God I Miss Her, a Mega Man player you may have previously known as Yeti, the same Yeti who got 9th back at Genesis 6. Sweshi, a Philadelphia player, beat Quid in round 2 pools, with Bowser Jr., the same Quid who won last year's LMBM. With upsets like these, Championship Sunday would be hard to top. Fortunately though, for our entertainment, Championship Sunday was by far the craziest bracket we have ever seen. Top 64 was chaotic to say the least. To kick off Top 64, Light had all the momentum to take the Collision crown after winning Level Up Expo by double eliminating Sonic and Tweak, but that didn't come to pass, as in the first round of Top 64 he was sent to losers by Quandale Dinglingleton. Moist also had to deal with the rough loss of Sol 1. While he did take a game off of Amsa and Melee, he couldn't continue on to do well both in Melee and Ultimate, as he was sent to losers by Bobo, a Snake player from New York with an upset factor of +5. He would eventually lose to MVD for 33rd, being double eliminated by Snake, a character who's risen up in the meta. Top 16 though is where it really gets interesting. All the top 3 seeds being MKLeo, Tweak and Spargo were in winner side to qualify for top 8 winners. However, all 3 were sent to losers. Lima, after making an already big upset by defeating Kurama, beat Tweak in a close 4-game set. Riddles had been back and forth with MKLeo in their last 3 sets, with MKLeo having the recent win where he 3-0'd the young Canadian with Marth. Riddle didn't shy away from the challenge however, and he unceremoniously swept the world's best player. However though, something had been lurking in the shadows. The biggest upset of the weekend was the Mexican player SkyJ, who after being able to defeat both Meister and DeBuzz made the biggest upset of the weekend, defeating Spargo, the number 2 seed with, get this, and with all of the top 4 seeds and losers, it was bound to be a bloodbath to see which of them could make it into the top 8 of this grueling bracket. Spargo and Tweak managed to make top 8, with Spargo taking it over Apollo Kage, and Tweak stopping a reverse 3-0 against Light as he clutched his way to top 8, but MKLeo, however, wasn't quite as fortunate. Let's get this straight, MKLeo is still the undisputed best player in the world. As the first seed of this event, he had all the momentum after his win at Genesis, but after losing to Riddles, he had to fight Shiny Mark, the Guatemalan Pikachu prodigy. MKLeo had problems with exterminating this rat in the past, dropping multiple sets to Esam throughout Ultimate's lifespan, and this weekend was no different. MKLeo, the best player in the world, loses to Shiny Mark and finishes in 9th place. This was MKLeo's first open bracket major where he didn't finish in top 8, ever since Umebura in 2019, over 4 years ago. With the top 3 seeds getting upset in winners quarters, the winner side of top 8 is utter chaos. The remaining players, Lima, Meister, Sonics and Riddles, haven't qualified for Summit, and with the other 2 possible remaining qualifying players fighting each other for 7th, 3 out of the top 4 placing players will be in Summit qualifiers, which means it's a tight race for anyone who wants to claim the last Summit spot, let alone winning Grand Finals. Up first is Spargo vs Tweak. The only players who have qualified for Summit already square off for 7th, which is absurd. The absurdity only multiplies as the pair have clashed in Grand Finals for 3 straight majors, being Mainstage, the Scuffed World Tour, and LMBM 2023. After a 4-game slugfest, Spargo managed to avenge the loss from their recent set to LMBM, bringing their current set count to 9-7 in Spargo's favour. Fresh off his MKLeo win, Shiny Mark had to face off against Meister and his Game & Watch, which is considered to be Pikachu's worst matchup. And even after taking a game and making a switch to Lucina, it just wasn't enough, and the Guatemalan player went home at 7th. Shiny Mark is an incredible player, as after he was sent to losers early by Lima before even top 64, he went on to make an incredible losers run, beating players such as Ned, Andres FN, Shadik, Peanut and MKLeo to make it to the top cut. After having several less than stellar performances since his last top 8 major, that being Smash Factor 9, Shiny Mark has found his spark, outplacing Esam and asserting himself as the world's best Pikachu. The winner side was just as tumultuous, A trip to Summit was in contention, and it seemed open, with most of the tournament's top seeds in losers or even out of the bracket altogether. First was Riddles vs Sonics. Their set count was 5-1 in Sonic's favour, as the FGC characters tended to struggle a lot versus Sonic. After a grueling first 2 games, Sonics destroyed Riddles' Kazuya with a 3-stock in game 1 and a JV3 in the second game. It looked like it would continue, and even with a swap to Terry, you'd think it wouldn't be much different. But Riddles didn't sugarcoat it, as he convincingly reversed 3-0'd Sonic, sending him to the real gates of hell, losers bracket. Both SkyJ and Lima were the breakout stars of the winner's side, but only one of them could continue to winners finals. That honour went to SkyJ, still playing in Incineroar after 4 ecstatic games. And unfortunately, both Sonics and Lima couldn't keep the gas going long enough to continue in losers, as the 2 remaining Mexicans continued their crusade into the top 4. Lima had an incredible run. With Lima and Bloom, Bayonetta will continue to live on in Ultimate's meta no matter how much her mains might try and think about Smash 4. Sonics remained consistent as ever. In his 5th place finish, he managed to beat Zomba, MPG, and Apollo Kage. Spargo and Meister fought in losers semis to decide who gets to move on to losers finals. That honour went to Spargo, after a 4-game set in which he sent the Avatar home with just a 4th place finish. After Riddles beat SkyJ in winners finals, Spargo was hoping to get his revenge on SkyJ for sending him to losers. However, he just came up short, as the wrestling protagonist SkyJ himself took care of business, being the player to double eliminate Spargo. Spargo was looking to regain his crown as last year's Collision champion, but SkyJ dashed those hopes and dreams. And while Collision 2022 was Spargo's first major win, Collision 2023 could have been the first major win for SkyJ, if he could close Riddles out in 2 sets. Grand Finals was arguably the hypest set in the history of Smash Bros. Ultimate, with Riddles doing what he does best with Kazuya. He showed off crisp movement, his incredible electric combos, and finish stocks at obscene percents. But SkyJ, being the underdog and on the best low tier run ever conceived, was able to stick around and impress with great conversions and incredible edge guards. SkyJ had an incredible run that will never be forgotten by those who witnessed it. He beat Meister, DeBuzz, and Spargo twice, with a combined upset factor of plus 23. SkyJ had some consistency issues heading into 2023, being upset at a top 8 in Lost Tech City and finished 97th at Genesis 9. But, being the protagonist he is, he never gave up. He will grab you, suplex you, and deliver a clothesline so intense your neck will break before you can even bring up Insin's tier list placements. Sometimes you just need to believe in you and your character, as players like Peanut and SkyJ have gotten 17th and 2nd at this Super Major respectively. Whether you play a good character or a broken character, sometimes you simply have to be better. Hero thwacked you at 26.4%? No one cares. Work harder. Riddles had the run of his career as he won Collision without dropping a single set throughout the tournament. Riddles has only lost 7 games in his 10-set run, only going to Game 5 twice against Sonics and SkyJ. Riddles has been a top player for a while now, but this is a new level for him. Riddles had a tough time after his TBH 10 win, with only appearing in 2 top 8s, which were Let's Make Big Moves Miami and Let's Make Big Moves respectively. And with a 33rd place at Genesis that had him spike his controller to the point that had unnecessary backlash, it looked like Riddles couldn't figure out how to be consistent as he used to be. But this tournament not only solidified him as one of Ultimate's greats, but a genuine top 10 player. He worked hard getting to where he's at, and he's only 18. He can have his bad moments, but he will always bounce back. And with him being the last Summit qualifier, he'll have a chance to prove it yet again, and there's only one way that it can go down. Thank you so much for watching. Collision lived up to the name, as set histories and tier lists were thrown out the window to put on some of the most spectacular performances. With how the Smash community seems to crumble when it reaches a peak, you would think that it would hurt the players' will to even continue picking up their controller. But Collision 2023 is historic, not just for its insane upsets, but to see the fire burn even higher as the competitive scene feels more alive than ever. I, Kevin Lara, hope you enjoyed this recap, and we'll see you next time on the Smash Journal.